I hope I'm allowed to give a bit longish question.
Go ahead, sir.
It's concerning these outrageous and extortionate energy price hikes every year, which are simply unjustifiable and I believe should be considered unlawful.
Mm-hmm.
We the consumer are being ripped off non-stop. We have no choice but to pay up or freeze and light up candles. And 6 energy companies are a cartel, all but in name. They are not going to change their current arbitrary ways to increase the energy prices every year. And, I feel there's no point switching the energy companies for 10, 20, 30 pounds. Even if you switch, the energy company will more than make up the differential within 6-12 months under the next extortionate annual price rising.
And just to move you to a question, Ahmed, it's brilliant background, but I have, because I have so many others. Could I move you to a question for Mr. Clegg? Thank you, sir.
Yes, I just want to say that, what action, Mr. Clegg, are you intend to take, your government intend to take, and I think this can only be done with all party support to curtail these outrageous annual energy prices.
Stay on the line, Ahmed.
I think there are lots of things we can do, Ahmed. Firstly, we can make sure you say that switching doesn't make a difference. It can actually save you hundreds of pounds. And I agree with you, we need more people more other providers offering you better tariffs than the big 6. And that's why under this government, we've now got 15 alternative providers offering you really, really good deals. And actually, we're announcing today, Ed Davies doing it, we're going to make sure that can be done in 24 hours.
How do we do that?
Well,
when did you last switch, Mr. Clegg?
I haven't switched for a while, for a long while, and I'm a customer to. Well, because I was actually content that the tariff I was on for a while was the best one I could find. But I'm certainly, once I know whether all the big 6 are going to change their prices.
Are you with one of the big 6?
I'm with one of the big 6.
Yeah. How much is your quarterly bill?
I'm not going to start going into my own personal bills. Can I just finish my answer to Ahmed rather than you? Firstly, Ahmed, we can allow you to switch much more quickly, and that's what we're going to do. That can save you hundreds of pounds. Secondly, we've got to give people help who are on low incomes with their fuel bills. So we're writing out a cheque for £135 this winter to 2 million of the poorest households. As you know, we're doing some work in government now. We'll make an announcement in the next few weeks about whether we can bring the bills down further. And do you know what I would say to the big 6? They've got to open up their books. They've got to level with people like you. They've got to be straight with their customers. Because frankly, the more I look into this, the more confusing I find it. Yesterday, I heard someone from the big 6 on the radio say, "Oh, it's all because of these so-called levies." So I asked my office. I said, "Well, what was the proportion of the overall bill that was sort of consumed by these levies last year compared to this year?" And it's exactly the same. It was 9% last year. It was 9% this year. If that's the same, how can if those levies have remained the same proportion, at least over the last 24 months or so, how on earth can that justify a double-digit increase now? So I just think if they're going to keep their customers with them, like Ahmed, like anybody, they've got to be a whole lot more straightforward with people about how to explain why they have introduced these big price increases this winter.
But how will your Lib Dem colleague get it down? It's 35 days currently.
Yep.
And it took me longer because I had to go to the Ombudsman.
When did you switch?
2 years ago. I spend about £128 a month. It goes on direct debit. Is that roughly yours?
Nick, I'm simply...
You see how I did that?
Oh, so clever. I tell you, you were so subtle. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming.
How much is your energy bill?
I'm not going to tell you how much my energy bill is.
I must be courteous. How much is your energy bill?
I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Anyway, 35 days down to 1. How is Ed Davey going to do that?
Well, he's going to explain in Parliament later, and I think it's going to make a dramatic difference, because quite a lot of people I meet who say, yeah, I'd like to switch, and I think Ahmed slightly sort of suggested this as well. It's not worth it, and it's such a hassle. I have to fill in all these forms, and it'll take ages. If we can show people, as we are absolutely determined to do, that it's really, really easy, then, by the way, people can do what Ed Miliband, it now turns out, did. He switched to a different provider who turns out to think that his price freeze is what I said it was here last week. Big, fat, 24-carat Tom, prices would go up, jobs would go down, and investment would go down.
If you won't, and I fully respect the fact you won't tell me how much you spend, are you at least trying to keep the thermostat down a little? Are you taking any measures to keep your energy bills down?
Of course I am, like everybody else. Of course I am. But
are the children wearing jumpers?
Right now, they're at my parents' right now. It's half-term week,
of
so
course.
I very much hope they are if my mum is listening.
Okay.